I made a selfie video like, hey guys, all my videos got deleted. If you guys want me to keep making videos, let me know in the comments. And I think I have like 6 comments under that video. But those 6 comments kind of motivated me to keep going.
Shout out to the 6.
Yes,
we go from student aesthetics to My Shred Lifestyle. All of a sudden we have different business partners, different businesses. We've got staff. We've got a physical office. We got Merijn commuting into work. How did this start? Where did you think the name My Shredded Lifestyle? How did the business operate? Like, what was the main source of revenue for the business? And then why did you end up kind of leaving it?
So my first sale that I made was, I think, 150 euros. So I woke up with like 150 in my PayPal. I'm like, put on a little bit of a mask, which later I dropped when I hit that point of burnout. My rule was kind of like 2 hours before I go to sleep, I close my laptop. I don't have, the screen. 1 hour before, no phone. Definitely no like scrolling before. I got like angry at my girlfriend. She started scrolling before sleep.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Game Plan. I am your host, Rob Lipsett. Today we have a YouTube fitness OG. We have also one of my closest friends. We have Netherlands' greatest fitness sensation. We have Merijn Schoeber.
Pretty good, man.
Hey!
Cheers, bro.
So we were just saying, we're like the name. It's Brian with an M. And that says something.
If you say it in English, Merijn.
Yeah. And then how the second name?
Schoeber. Schoeber, yeah, I guess.
Now, and so you originally, right? You weren't embarrassed, or you had a different name.
What were you saying?
You at the start, you had a different name.
Student aesthetics.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of people may know me from that. I started youth when I was 19. I was a student back in the day, so I showed people how to get in shape and party. So student aesthetics is the name.
Okay, and I always forget. I'm like, what were you even studying in college?
It's called like commerciële economie, commercial
economics.
I guess it's sort of like marketing and sales. Yeah, very broad. Like. Yeah, I didn't learn much.
And so when you were in college, what was like a day-to-day life for you?
So, good question. So I was 17 back in the day. 17, 18, I started lifting really seriously.
Yeah.
So first that was kind of the lifestyle. I quit one other study because I was like too busy with the gym.
Yeah.
That I actually didn't make it. It was like in another city, so I also had to travel and stuff. So I woke up super early in the morning, meal prep, everything, like go to school. I had like so much food with me in school, and I was just like, I wanted to hit the gym every day. So sometimes I just kind of like skip school, and I was a bit of a rebel always in school, I guess. And then later when I did the second study, I took it a little more serious. So I did the study decently, and then in the morning I would meal prep, hit the gym. Later on the day I would shoot videos. That was probably kind of like the most busy time when I decided I was gonna start YouTube and also gonna start my own coaching business, which was about, I guess, a year later.
Okay.
So then it was pretty much like balancing everything at the same time, which was crazy.
And this is when kind of student aesthetics was invented.
Yeah.
And so what made you come up with the name? Just a student trying to get some aesthetics?
I guess if you boil it down, that's pretty much what it is.
And so when did you make your first online sale?
I actually had one name before Student Aesthetics, which is funny.
That's shit!
My first Gmail name too. I don't know if the YouTube channel was named for that long. It was called Stop Miring.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even joking.
That was your like your URL.
Exactly. Yeah. It still is. Maybe it's still is.
Yeah, because you can't. It's hard to change the URL. You can't.
It actually was for a while. Yeah.
And
Stop Miring. It was just like I was inspired by Z's and those guys. So.
Oh my god! And so it means like as in, are we trying to stop the Myron?
I don't know what it meant. Like, I have no idea. Yeah.
Man, remember the Z's days? Like, I have to say, my two original inspirations to get into lifting, they were so different. But like, I thought one was funny, one was inspirational.
Is Aziz and Greg Plitt?
That's the exact one. And they were both around at the same time. And like, I would watch these like for the laughs and like, because his physique looks so good. And then Greg Plitt, like for motivation, for real advice.
Yeah.
And I just thought they both like, just that shape and everything that looks so good. And I remember like when I went on my first cut, it was inspired by them. But they're actually not what inspired me to start lifting. What inspired me to start lifting was actually rugby. So like I wanted to gain weight and like to get better at rugby, to get on the team. And so it actually really worked in my favor. Before this whole Z's Greg Plitt era and you know, kind of our era as well, of everyone like talking about getting cut and like showing off their shreds online, I would just like watch sports and play sports. And rugby, that's like, you know, the main sport in Ireland. And so our coach every morning, every training session would weigh you. And so the whole team would weigh you in the morning. And so like we're all trying to gain like a pound a day. We're all trying to gain like crazy amounts. It just became a competition. Like we'd be like slugging back liters of milk. We'd be going up to the school cafeteria, like getting seconds, and we'd all be trying to outdo each other. No one gave a fuck about being shredded. Yeah. Like, and nowadays, and so that works in my favor.
Shredded just doesn't work for actual sports.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're a kid, like this is me at like between the ages of pretty much like 12 to 18 in school, always just on a perma bulk. And so nowadays it's the opposite. The kids just straight away, they're trying to get shredded. True. Just straight away. Whereas me, I built foundation, like was kind of fat in a way. For me, yeah. And then so when I did discover the whole Z's and Greg Plitt era, I actually like I went on a cut and like I looked pretty good. I went to INAFA. And I was like, I got shredded for INAFA, and I looked decent. But yeah, that was when I found those guys, and I think we all became a little bit obsessed with that. Like, and I think they kind of started the whole YouTube fitness scene.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and to get to the bulking thing, I've actually done that myself for a very long time. Like when I was, I guess 19 years, I was heavier than I am now. Yeah. I was like heavier than my bulks now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I was like over 90 kgs, like 92. I never really get over 90 kgs now. I kind of like between, even when I'm shredded, I'm like 76, I guess. And then up to like maybe 88 or something. Then I'm like pretty, my face starts bloating and stuff.
Man, as soon as the face starts, I'm like, I'm not making videos.
Yeah, so if you watch my old videos, my face is this big. And I just didn't give a fuck. Like I had a pretty decent shape, like under all the fat, but like I bulked for a very long time, which is when I started getting shredded. I did have this foundation. Yeah. So I can never really blame the dirty bulk. It did kind of help me. I do have stretch marks everywhere because I just gain weight so fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. Like chest, my back. Yeah.
Damn,
I never get new ones. I just had them from when I was 19.
It's because you're not making gains anymore.
Probably.
But that's so wild like that. I'm like, I wish I had stretch marks now.
It's kind of battle scars. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe back in the day you were gaining so much weight and muscle fast that you get stretch marks. I think they look cool when they're like on the inside of your chest. I think,
a little bit. Yeah,
I think they look sick there. And so, right, when was your first online sale? Was it during college? When did you think like, all right, you know, I'm going to make a business out of this?
Yeah, so I was in university when I started my YouTube channel. I was probably in for maybe a couple months when I started, so pretty quickly. The study before that, I was already thinking about starting YouTube. I just never really made the move. Yeah. So I was just so afraid to like start YouTube, and I didn't even I had an ex-girlfriend back in the day. I didn't even tell her. I made a video without telling her. No. That's how scared I was. You know,
oh my God.
Yeah. And it's so weird. Like the mindset, you almost cannot understand what you were like when you were young.
Yeah.
But I was just so stressed out, fearful. Now I couldn't imagine being like that.
Yeah.
Like not telling the people around me, but I was just afraid. So I was kind of like, maybe if I have some views, like even like telling my friends and stuff, which came later. I didn't like at first I told her, like later my friends. I was like, maybe if I get some views first, it'll be like, you know, I can tell them and not be ashamed. Yeah. That's how you feel. Like,
yeah, it's fair. That's fair enough.
It's fair in a way. Yeah. It's fair in a way.
But you shouldn't care. Yeah.
But then I went to the gym in my hometown in Nijmegen, and I was making videos in English, like worldwide. I had like 2-3 comments a video. Yeah. Two hate comments. One from my mom. Like, no. But like, yeah, just like maybe one person to kind of cheer me on. And so I came to the gym one day in Nijmegen, the city in the Netherlands, and someone said, yo, do I know you from the video? When I was training with a friend of mine that I didn't tell about the YouTube channel. And I just felt like truly shaved. Like I was just like, fuck. Like
in a good way?
No, in like a bad way.
Why?
Because I still didn't have views. I had like 200 views video.
Okay.
You know.
So, and so you were...
I don't know. I was kind of insecure back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I made the move, and like YouTube changed my life in that sense that now I cannot even imagine being that way. And I think people shouldn't care. But I was just so afraid. I would secretly like film on my phone in the gym. put some towels around it so no one saw it. Like crazy shit. Like, no one in the Netherlands was doing this, by the way. So I was like now you see some people with taking videos. No one was doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly the same as me. Like that's why I think we became such good friends, because we could relate to each other. Like, and even remember the first time we met, it was in like Sandyford in Dublin.
I know. I shot you an email.
Yeah,
hey, bro, did you want to make a video together? I'll come to Dublin. Like
in email.
In email.
like signed off by Merijn. So formal.
Yeah.
And then we're like, WhatsApp, and like, yo, what do you want? But yeah, it's so scary starting out. Like I did my 10-year anniversary video on YouTube. I posted last night. I got like so many messages and DMs, like so nice, of people being like, this has just inspired me to start. And like it's so crazy that right now we feel like, oh, we wouldn't think of anything of uploading video, but you do at the beginning. Exactly. Like you're actually, when it's easy for us to say when we're here in Marbella doing podcasts and have all our friends do it. We have all the best camera equipment and everything. We all run successful businesses. It's easy for us to say, but starting out, it's so completely different.
Exactly. That's why I think it's important to share, to like go back to that feeling back in the day.
Yeah.
Which is almost hard to imagine, but I'm sure other people feel like that too.
Yeah.
That start creating content. So the question was like my first sale. Yeah. So I started a YouTube channel. I started uploading 3 times a week. I did that like consistently. Yeah. And actually after a couple months, like all my videos got sort of banned, which was weird. Because I use like non-copyrighted music. Yeah. So I made a selfie video like, hey guys, all my videos got deleted. If you guys want me to keep making videos, let me know in the comments. And I think I have like 6 comments under that video. But those 6 comments kind of motivated me to keep going.
Shout out to the 6
Yes, shout out to the 6 people.
Yeah.
Which were mostly Americans watching back then.
Yeah.
Which was, that kind of kept me going, those 6 people that commented. So I kept making videos 3 times a week again. I think I already had like 50 videos back then. So they all got, sort of banned, deleted. Yeah. Then I started again. And after like about 100 videos, one video went viral, which was like a transformation video.
Yeah.
So it just, it took me 1.5 years. I was at 5,000 subscribers. And then one video kind of got viral. This was luckily at the same time that I was starting to build my own website, like my coaching business, which I just started everything by myself, built the website myself, everything basically. So the design, which didn't look good, but like, hey, you got it. That one was cool. My friend actually made that logo.
That was good.
A friend of mine made that logo.
Like you had that for a while,
yeah. So big shout out to him. That was dope. And so it took me 1.5 years. Then kind of like one video got viral. The next month, I went from 5,000 subs to 10,000, and that month afterwards, 20,000.
What?
Yeah, so that was the biggest
that's insane.
Exponential increase I got.
Yeah,
and I launched my website pretty much at that time, or maybe even right before. So I worked on the website like the whole summer, 3 months. I didn't know how WordPress worked or any website, so I just figured it all out. It took me many months, but I didn't have money to invest, so I just did it all by myself. Paid one guy from my university in school 50 euros to like, which was a big investment.
50, for sure.
To build like the payment thing, for the website.
That was
the rest I just built myself. That was the difficult part.
Yeah.
And then I was rolling, I got my first sale, I think. So it was after probably around 1.5 years of YouTube and then just launching the website. And it was an American guy. And my first sales were all American guys. Yeah. Which was kind of cool.
Yeah. That is good. It kind of makes you feel like a little bit more international or
exactly.
Big,
and I think that kind of
like,
motivated me because, the Netherlands is also a tough country to like get well known in.
Tough crowd, guys. Tough crowd.
Once they like you, they like you. But it's, I guess, a tough crowd if you get started. Yeah. A lot of hate, man. A lot of hate. Like,
okay,
yeah,
right.
when people are on the come up. Yeah. So I see it now on social media as well. If I see people trying something, you will see a lot of people hating, like,
because I can't like understand the comments, like if I'm ever on like a Netherlands page, if there's any hate. But so tell me a little bit more about that, because I feel it's just like a carbon copy of Ireland. Because what's like the population of Netherlands? Like, rough,
it's like 17 million now.
Okay, well, yeah, that's like Ireland is like, I think it's like 6, 7, or 8 million. But that's compared to countries like America or even the UK, it's exactly like fractional. Yeah. So it's essentially a small town mentality.
It is, yeah, and I lived in Nijmegen, so if I lived in Amsterdam, it was probably different.
Yes.
But there were no vloggers around me, no YouTubers, like separate from the fitness space.
Yeah.
There were maybe a couple like general YouTubers in the Netherlands that got pretty big around that time.
The gamers,
daily vloggers, but they maybe prank videos, but nothing like fitness content or anything.
Yeah.
So I truly was one of the first, and maybe probably the first on YouTube that got like decent views.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first sale, bro, it was honestly the best feeling in like business wise in my life.
Yeah.
Because it made me for the first time kind of realize, just like I did with YouTube, but this made me realize like, hey, I could be onto something. Because before this, I did like I worked in a kitchen and I worked at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Just those kind of jobs, which earn like maybe €5 to €7 an hour.
Oh yeah,
now it's more.
I worked in
back
retail.
in the day. It was about
Now that's illegal.
Now that's illegal. Yeah.
For my minimum wage when I was working in like an office job, it was €1,800 a month, and like that was minimum wage. Surely it's gone up to more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But that was like. I couldn't survive on that back in the day. Like, and nowadays you wouldn't even get like a 1-bedroom apartment to rent in Dublin.
True.
For that.
I know, it's crazy.
Expensive. Like, it's nuts.
So basically, this first sale that I made. So you realize I came from like working in a kitchen where I got fired at both jobs pretty much.
Why?
Yeah. different reasons. At the grocery store, the Albert Heijn is gone. It's just one day I called in sick. I don't know if I was actually sick or not. Doesn't really matter. Like if you call in sick, and the guy said, "Well, you got to show up anyways."
What?
And I just hang up, and I just never went there again.
Oh.
So I don't know. I never heard from them again. Like, and then at the other one, I wasn't fast enough at doing the dishes in the restaurant. Yeah, I know. I suck. Like I can't even do that.
You can't even do dishes.
I know, and I just like I put in effort. Like it's not like I didn't want to. I actually put in effort. So I was like. What's wrong with me?
What do you need me to take
I'm like,
some
what's
speed?
wrong with me? Yeah. So he's like, well, you can try again tonight, or you can just leave. And I was like, I'm out of here, you know. So I just left, and he didn't have one that night, so that kind of made me feel good. Like, I guess that was like my revenge. I don't know. I was just like, why would I work tonight if I honestly did my best? Like, I can do better.
I remember when I got fired from like every single job apart from the last one. I just left. I walked into the last kind of main one I had when I was actually working full time. I just went in and had YouTube going at this stage, and I just said, hey, you know, I'm going to leave. And he was really cool about it. He like understood. Like he watched my videos and he was like, oh, these are actually pretty good. You give good advice. Like go do your thing. So he was actually a cool boss. And they're still doing well, that company now. You know, so I'm always like, I quit my job. But I actually like him. He was nice. But the other ones before that, man, have you ever had a woman boss? This one was just, I swear to God, she was for some reason, the only female boss I've ever had, and she just hated me so much. Maybe she fancied me. I don't know. She just hated me anyways. And like one day she fired me. It was a retail job. And like I could tell she was so happy to fire me because I just like showed up. I showed up late like twice, and then they're just like, "You're gone." And it's such, and I had like no money, and I was like, actually kind of needed it, but I also hated the job. But such a weird feeling getting fired. Like it's not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling, no. So after this, I actually got a job at someone who was an entrepreneur who also was in my school.
Yeah,
like in the school before when you're young, and so he was like a gamer guy that made a gaming business. He built it into like millions of dollars.
Oh,
when
shit.
he was like 17.
What?
The guy's he's so smart. He's called Pim de Witte, Pim de White, I guess you could say. Yeah. He lives in America now, and we're still in touch sometimes.
Yeah.
He's building like even way bigger businesses now, just all in the tech space and stuff. So he was pretty much a whiz kid back in the day, and I got a job at his office, which were all like friends of his, just young kids.
Yeah.
And I kind of saw some potential there for like entrepreneurship when he was doing that. So that definitely inspired me to like, you know, start the business. And I started the business when I was on this job.
Yeah.
But it was a side job. So it probably paid a little bit more, but you know, not more than like maybe €10 an hour.
Yeah.
Top 15, I'm not sure, maybe 15. So my first sale that I made was I think €150.
Oh,
150.
shit.
So I woke up with like 150 in my PayPal.
Yeah.
He paid 150. I'm like,
isn't it
so
crazy?
I showed it to
feeling?
my ex-girlfriend who I was scared to like, you know,
Yeah. That
all
bitch.
No, I
just joking.
Yeah. And so I showed it to her and I'm like, I just didn't believe it, you know? And that was kind of like the first glimpse of what's possible. Because if that's possible, then it can also go 10x, 100x. You know?
That's crazy. And
Because
so
it's online.
Yeah.
It was some random guy from America bought my stuff. I'm like,
what was it? Was it like a program?
yeah, like coaching.
Yeah. That's the same as me. It wasn't even that much. I think it was like, actually it was for one of my ebooks, it was like €30. And then there was like a package you could buy like 2 of them for €50. So it was one of them, and it's just the same feeling. Like it was when I woke up as well, like it was overnight, which is always a wild one.
It's wild.
Because you're like, oh, I just made money while I sleep. And that's the craziest feeling ever. And it's like the most motivational thing ever. And so when did you feel I'm on something? When did you feel success? Like when did you start like moving out? And, when did life start taking a little upwards trend?
Yeah, so it all went pretty fast from like that point on.
Yeah.
Because as I said, like I made this first sale or the first couple sales, and then one video went viral, kind of like all at the same time. And it probably was so by fact because I saw the potential. I was putting so much energy into it. So I was literally like from morning until evening, I was like working on my laptop. My parents were also looking at me like, what are you doing? Like they didn't know me like that. I was always kind of like chilling, hanging out on the streets, like not really doing anything, not having ambition.
Yeah.
And I was never like studying for university. It was difficult. And I was all of a sudden just behind my laptop and working and doing stuff and talking to the camera. They looked at my YouTube videos. They were like, Merijn, you never talk to us. Like, yeah, we don't know you like this. I was talking like, blah, blah, YouTube channel. For me, it's kind of like a personal diary, I guess, because I'm kind of like an introvert.
Yeah.
So even with my parents, I maybe found it kind of hard to like, talk a lot. So on YouTube, I was just like chatting stuff all the time and like talking about, lifting, and also the people around me weren't really doing it. So I was just kind of like just obsessed with the online thing.
Would you, if you had a kid and you saw him like doing that, would you be like proud, or how would you feel?
Yeah, but my parents told me also when I was young, like, even if you become a garbage man, like we don't care as long as you're happy. So do what makes you happy. I think that's kind of like the way we were raised, and I think that's nice. Yeah,
your parents. I've met both your parents. I've obviously met your dad. He has a letter. He has a letter.
Nah, you didn't meet him. No.
I haven't met him.
He wants to meet you. Yeah.
Oh, what?
They always talk about meeting you. Yeah.
Why if I feel like I've met
because you probably see him on the videos.
Oh my
often
god!
Goes like
well,
that.
I know exactly who they are, and they seem like really nice parents.
They are. So that obviously means a lot, and they wanted me to study, of course. Yeah. Even though they would say like you can do anything. They wanted me to study. Let's keep it real. Yeah. But I think with my kid that would be a bit different.
Yeah.
But I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur. So you got to kind of figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
This just kind of seemed my thing. So it all went pretty fast because, I made these couple sales. Video went viral. So I went from 5K to 10K subscribers, which obviously also doubled kind of like the clients that I got.
Yeah.
And I was taking the business pretty serious. So I started running ads already, like with a couple of euros a day maybe, but like it kind of worked. Back times,
back
no one was
then,
doing
it was way more effective.
Especially in the Netherlands. So Facebook ads were super effective. If I knew it now, I would have put all the money into it. Back in there, I didn't obviously know. Yeah. And I didn't know what I was doing. And then I had 20K that next month. And when I had 20K, I dropped out of university.
Oh, shit.
So it actually kind of went in a period of 4 months where I went from just going to university, building this website, just working on it, but not really earning anything, making YouTube videos 3 times a week, going to the gym 5 times a week, prepping my meals. Like it was the most hectic shit ever. But it was kind of easy because I was young. I had so much energy.
Yeah.
And I had a mission, so like a very clear vision that I had. So I just went for it. And then I dropped out when I hit like 20K. I was making about like 10K a month already.
Yeah.
Not in profit, but, in sales. So I kind of showed my parents. And that was kind of the proof that I needed.
Yeah. I remember when I bought an Audi A5 and I moved out, and I was pretty young, I was like maybe 25, if not, I was like 24 even, which is when you're 24, like most kids are still in college and have like nothing. They're just living off working part-time jobs in retail. They maybe have a couple $100 in their account. So they didn't believe me until I did that. And I showed them my accounts as well and everything. Yeah.
And for me, it was the same. I got an Audi file actually. Literally the same.
We are just the same version. We're the same version of each other.
And that kind of showed people around me indeed like, oh, he's onto something.
Yeah.
Because everybody in my school would also say like, you're stupid for dropping out. This is a bad decision. You're going to regret this later. And actually, even like up until this day, like even a couple of years ago, they would come to me at a festival and be like, "Do you really think it's smart that you dropped out?" And I'm like, you have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh
like,
my God.
People just see one path. That's the path for everybody, and they don't understand. Like,
it's so wild.
It's limitless,
I remember I was being asked by I think it was at an interview or something, and they're like, "What's your biggest regret?" And I was like, I had to have a think, and it's still probably the same now. Is going to college for 2 years. Because I did 2 years, and then I failed actually all my exams.
Yeah, I did about 2 as well.
Yeah, I failed all my exams, and they're like, you have to repeat the year, and I'm like, of course I'm not going to do that. Like 3 years in first year. It's like I'd rather just literally just, I don't know, leave this planet and fucking, I don't know. Anyways, so I dropped out, and my biggest regret was bothering to do those 2 years. I was like,
but it's
cool.
tough.
I know I learned
you
that
only
I
learn it
like
afterwards.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe if I did 1 year, 2 years was just like so stupid.
Yeah.
And it was just like, because to go to college in Ireland, I don't know what it is now, but I think the course I was doing, I think it was like $6,000 a year. So if I got that 12K and that 2 years to put into my business, I would have had Villa Lipsett at 27. You know?
Yeah.
So that's I guess that's my biggest regret. But if that's my only regret, well then I think I'm doing pretty good in life. But
For
yeah,
sure.
so would you force your kids to like go that route, go to college, or you know when you do have
I mean, I wouldn't force
yeah.
anything, but like I don't exactly know by that time like what the options are.
Yeah.
I talked with David about this as well.
Yeah.
But there is a lot more options I think now
Yeah.
than there used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, they should explore like what they are good at, what makes them happy, how they can help people. You know, so it's probably different. Yeah.
And so what would be a piece of advice you would give the Merijn just starting out?
Focus on one thing.
Nice.
Because I just focused on way too many things at the same time. Later, when I started my first business, it started kind of doing well pretty quick. And then
Which is this?
well, student aesthetics.
Oh yeah,
the coaching thing.
Of course, yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, well, I can start something else. I don't know if I started the clothing line first or something else, but doing clothing, doing another business like.
There was like an alcohol business in there.
My
wasn't
Shredded
it?
Lifestyle, the book, which was
Yeah.
separate from student aesthetics. So it was
Yeah.
like student aesthetics, My Shredded Lifestyle with business partners. Also at Crystal Limited, which was clothing line with a business partner.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of like at the same time, different businesses with different people. And I'm just a guy like as I said, I'm an introvert. I like being alone.
Yeah.
And the same kind of like with the business, I realized like I just kind of like doing my own thing.
Yeah,
I don't like building a big team.
Yeah.
So that's what we did with My Shredded Lifestyle. Became a best-selling book. We sold it in 150 countries actually, which is insane.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
insane.
But mostly in the Netherlands. And then we started an office. It's all a couple years ago. An office with employees. They're just be sitting there. Like I'll be coming to work every day. I'm just feeling like this is literally the life I didn't want. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember.
it's about 3 years ago. Yeah,
I remember. So we're gonna go in on that, right?
Yeah.
I remember like looking at your stories and everything, and being in the office and all that. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So wait, okay, give me the breakdown because I know you had some beef with the business partners as well, and that you and that you don't do it anymore. So I'm like,
Yeah.
give me. How did you just start doing all that? Like, how did you start going from My Student Aesthetics to My Shredded Lifestyle? Where did you think of the name? How did you get all these employees? What was a day-to-day life there? And how did it all end?
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry and literally billions of dollars are being invested, so buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power, so how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you do want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/gameplan. That's oracle.com/gameplan. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed.
All right. So we go from student aesthetics to My Shred Lifestyle. All of a sudden we have different business partners, different businesses. We've got staff. We've got a physical office. We got Merijn commuting into work. How did this start? Where did you think the name My Shredded Lifestyle? How did the business operate? Like, what was the main source of revenue for the business? And then why did you end up kind of leaving it?
All right. So yeah, My Shredded Lifestyle is kind of a long process, but we started in, I think, 2017. And so I started Student Aesthetics in 2016. So kind of like the end of 2017. So I was maybe doing the Student Aesthetics for about 2 years. Ball was really rolling. Things were going well. Had over 100,000 subscribers. And then two guys came to me with an idea, to pitch me an idea. And this was an idea for coffee. That was their first idea. So, and then they realized like I didn't really like the idea, or I didn't want to promote it. They started thinking of another idea. And they came up with a book, like My Shredded Lifestyle. We didn't really have the name back then, but they came up with a book and the idea of like, showing people my lifestyle, intermittent fasting, how to combine getting in shape with, going to festivals and partying, which was my unique selling point. And so we wrote a book about it, which I did most of the writing. They kind of like made it even a little bit better. Yeah. They, helped me out with all the research and everything. They put the whole book together, had a designer do everything. So they were operating the business and I was just the front guy, making the videos, doing the ads, shooting everything, and writing the book, of course. And just the promotion in general. Yeah. So they were kind of like the backbone of the business. So they were important. It's not like I split ways with them because they were not good or didn't help me at all.
Okay.
I thought without them, I wouldn't have started My Shredded Lifestyle.
Yeah.
So they came with the idea for the book, which really turned into a success, became a bestseller. And then, well, it's a whole story. I don't want to talk bad about. Yeah.
Slow down for a minute. So I don't mean to interrupt, but so with a book, right? I've written a book as well. It was also on the bestseller list. There's not much money in books, like
you didn't self-publish the book, and we self-published.
Okay,
the book.
Right. That was my question. Yeah, I did it with Penguin, and you get like a few euro per book,
I know.
if even. They give you an upfront salary or an upfront payment, which is like pretty good, and then you get like a few euros per the book. So that's why when you're saying all this, I'm like, where's the money come from? Okay, it was
that's why I'm saying it's a real business. It takes real work because they were kind of we were our own publisher.
Okay,
365 Brands is the name of the company, and that was the publishing. We're a publishing company too.
Okay, and so
just for our own book.
And so so when you sell a book, like how much profit do you make roughly? And you sold like how many?
I wouldn't know exactly, but let's say 10 euros, which is a good, even a bit more.
Yeah, that's a lot. I was getting like €1.
So well, probably a bit more. Yeah. Depends on, like, the second book was a bit more expensive. It was 30 euros. Yeah. You have Black Friday and those kind of things are less expensive. Maybe an average of 10 euros. And then we sold about like 25,000 books.
Okay.
And I still sell these books up until this day.
Okay.
So they're still on like bol.com, which is sort of an Amazon in the Netherlands. People buy it every day. They have been still for years. It's been so many years since we wrote it, So
okay, right. Yeah. So now that I understand that, I want to go back to the business partners. So they're running things. You're going into the office.
Yeah. So just a lot of stuff happened with the business partner. I don't want to get into the details because we also had. I went to court a couple times. Yeah, for real. Which I won everything. So it's and that was me and one of the partners first. So they were actually friends, and it just ended really badly. But yeah, that's a whole. Yeah, I'm not going to get into those details. You never know when you get sued again.
Yeah.
So
okay, I was about to pry, but I'm going to leave.
So later, actually, about 1 year ago, well, before that, the two of us were left, and we started, growing the business again. We started hiring more people. We obviously needed someone to replace the other guy too, and at this time, we were also we put Student Aesthetics into My Shredded Lifestyle, the coaching business. Yeah, because it's logical when you sell a book. It was kind of weird. Like I was doing My Shredded Lifestyle with these business partners. I was doing my own coaching, but selling the book and the coaching kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah. If you build the email list for My Shredded Lifestyle, you kind of want to use it on the coaching aspect.
Of course, that's like perfect match.
So at some point we just kind of like merged those businesses, and so it was the two of us, and then we started first working with it's just freelance coaches, and then later on we started expanding to having people on the team. Also hiring my best friend, Stan and Man.
Shout out Stan.
So he started first helping me like pack the Student Aesthetics t-shirts back in the day. And then later also doing coaching. At some point he started doing coaching for himself now, which is doing well. Cool. Yeah, he was kind of our first employee. Yeah. So before that we just worked with a lot of freelancers, about 15 or so. So he was kind of managing all the freelancers because they were all coaches. So it was cool. Like we would do days with the coaches and, build this whole team. But it's also a lot of headache involved when you work with, all these freelancers, all these different people. Yeah. And they expect obviously me to be the leader as well.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the role that I wanted. I thought I wanted. But then at some point when, we had like people sitting in the office and working there and also, an assistant and all in the same place, I felt really like obligated to go to the office because,
you'd feel kind of guilty.
Yeah,
not
you don't
going.
want to show up every day at like 10:30 when they are there at 9. You know what I mean? So you want to be there before them. You want to, show them a good example. And then I realized, and I heard all these entrepreneurs talk about this, and this is how you lead a team. And I would do all those things right. And I was like, I just don't like this. It just started draining my energy,
Yeah.
So yeah, I just realized like that's not really for me. And at some stage, I also thought like my shredded lifestyle doesn't really align anymore with my current vision, which is more about not just being in shape, but also feeling mentally well, which my shredded lifestyle kind of wasn't in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it was really focused on, the word shredded. Being super lean, being shredded. Because at some stage I kind of hit a dark period in my life where I realized like getting shredded all the time doesn't really make me happy,
Yeah.
And at some point it kind of helped me with, building my brand and growing on Instagram and YouTube. But it didn't really, it wasn't really sustainable in the long term.
No.
So like helping all these people get super shredded, like what is that really what I still want to do? Or do I want to help them like become the best version of themselves physically, but also mentally? My audience started getting a bit older as well. So I also realized like it's not really what a lot of them want, you know, and what is realistic for a lot of these people.
Exactly.
So that's when I kind of started changing my whole mindset towards it for myself, but also for the people I wanted to help. And then me and my business partner kind of disagreed on some things. Like he wanted to go in a different direction with the business. I wanted to go in another direction. So at some stage, after very long, discussions, I bought him out, bought his shares. So now I own 100% of the company, which is nice also. Because you always just feel like, you're not really the full owner, which can be okay. But then, I don't know.
It can feel weird.
For a long time, it felt right. But at this point, at some stage, when you just have two completely different visions, it starts clashing. You don't work towards the same goal anymore, and then things get a little weird because you both have shares. I had more shares in the business already. It just starts kind of.
It gets weird. I know the exact feeling.
It gets difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, from Fuel Cakes. Yeah, so I started with don't name all names. It's like an agency in London, and sometimes they'll do a revenue share. We did like an equity share, so I gave them like I think it was 30%. And it was just like we had like a bad communication. Like, it would take weeks to respond. You'd be waiting like weeks for someone to send an email back to like do something. And then so like that was for like 2 years. And then we decided to part ways. And you kind of have to start from zero. Like, I had to get like a new manufacturer. I had to design just start from zero, everything again. So you got to be, anyone listening to this, you got to be so careful at who you get into business with. And oftentimes, it's just cleaner to just start the product yourself, start the coaching business yourself. And maybe, it's going to take a little bit of extra work doing it on your own. But I've never really met someone who said, oh, I regret doing it on my own. Like at the beginning, when it gets really big, then sure, you can bring in a professional and more people. But at the beginning, if it's something that you can start yourself, just do it yourself. So
I think so too, because in the beginning you have time, which is very scarce later on.
Yes.
But in the beginning you don't have money, so you have time but no money.
Yeah.
So when you want to start a product business, of course, it's different. You probably need some cash. But if you want to start like service business or an online product, you don't necessarily need a lot of cash. So then you don't necessarily need investors. You don't need to go to the bank. You don't need a business partner who maybe has the funds or has like this other expertise.
Yeah.
Unless you have some very specific. If you're like super good, like in front of a camera, and you can only do that, but you just cannot do all the the admin stuff, which I think you can learn a little bit. Like,
but you can just hire people.
Well
You can just hire people.
You can
to
hire
do that.
freelancers.
Yeah. That's what I pretty much still do to this day. Like I have like a sales team that work off commission.
Yeah.
I have like a setter that works off commission.
Is smart. Yeah. So you can do commission.
That's what I do with everything with my coaching. I have an assistant coach.
Yeah.
So commission. Everything's just commission. And so it's fair. They know what they're going to earn. I know that it's always going to be profitable. because I'm not paying these salaries, and you have a bad month, you're still paying the same salaries. I'm kind of like you. I operate a very lean business, and I don't kind of, how do I say, have it like rent an office and employees that are there every day, because there's days where like you're paying for people to just sit there and they're not making sales.
Yeah, so that would kind of be the issue back then, that like, oh, go to the office too, have all these employees, but then, you know, maybe some months don't go as well. You know, summertime, people don't buy coaching, people go on vacation. Or, you know, if I have a couple of bad months, maybe I make less videos, maybe the promo doesn't go as well, maybe the algorithm is fucked. Like, there are so many things that can happen. But those people, you still have to pay them every month.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, so if you average out over the year, I kind of looked at it and I'm like, yeah, it's and it's just separate from the numbers. It's just a lot of stress. In those months, I would literally feel like, you know, the business will be collapsing. Like, if we keep this up another month, we will be dead, you know? That's how I would just feel. I would feel like...
Even if it wasn't, like...
Even if it wasn't, what if this, you know, goes twice as bad? You know, then we have, you know, you would just like, catastrophize those things.
Yeah.
And so I realized like, this kind of like model is really not for me. I think you kind of inspired me too, because I think a couple years ago, I asked you, like, don't you want to, like, you know, scale up your business or hire people? And you kind of explained the model to me. I'm like... And you're also like, you know, I live in Marbella, I live my best life. I go to the beach every day. Like, you know, I have this villa with the pool. And it's like, what more do you need?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, I've never been the guy who wants to have the biggest business in the world or make the most amount of money. So I kind of just want to live a really good life.
Yeah.
And that's also possible without employees and without having that stress, by kind of like focusing more on making it a lean business.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I've pretty much got the best life ever.
Yeah, I know.
I think, like, you know, me, Mike, and Louis were saying, like, we're like, oh, out of all the kind of like fitness guys and everything, like, we've got that really happy medium in terms that we have an amazing lifestyle, very relaxed and free lifestyle. And we also make like more than a doctor or, you know, all these conventional jobs. And that we've just got a really nice lifestyle. Like, yo, Christian works, he has no work-life balance.
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. But I'm just using an example of someone who, like, just loves work and is all in it. Then, whereas someone like, you know, me and Mike would just be like on the opposite end. That it's just a different type of thing. So yeah, I think I've smashed it. Honestly, like, I think I've found a really nice balance. And now that brings me on to a point that I really want to speak about with you, and it is burnout. So that's something that was a big thing. I was really worried about you at the time. You made that video, and you described it once, and you're like, you were hallucinating. Like, you were seeing shit. So talk me through, like, when did the burnout begin? What was the cause of it? And, you know, I want to go in on this so we can help other people do the same, avoid it.
Yeah. So basically this happened in 2020, I suppose. It probably, like, it's not something that just happens out of nowhere. So it took many years, I suppose. So it's kind of hard to backtrack, but in a way you can, because I was just getting shredded so many times. You know, I'm
really? You think the diet was the burnout?
Definitely part of it. Yes.
Wow, I thought it would be work. Oh, definitely part of it, but
no.
I think it would be work related.
It is work related. So a lot of it is work related, but combining it with just not really taking care of yourself physically, because you look shredded, you look amazing. Yeah. But like, that's not really what's happening on the inside. Because your hormones are low. Yeah. My testosterone was like an old man. Yeah. And I worked so hard at the same time, like really, really hard, like every day from morning until evening. And I had all this stress just piling up from, you know, all this stuff with the business partners, but also some personal stuff, which one day I'll talk about. I've never spoken about it.
Oh, really?
That's sort of a point. Yeah. The personal.
Can you give us a little?
No,
like,
I can't. Like, no, I can't. This is a personal struggle of mine. Something that happened. One day I'll talk about it. But that's a big factor. Which, so I don't talk about it. And then the other factor is, you know, the physical part, just being shredded all the time, not sleeping well, which got worse and worse. And I just kept going and kept working without taking action. And then also some things that I learned later from like therapy, where I had a really hard time saying no to things, to opportunities, to people. So I said yes to pretty much everything, and I had no boundaries, you know. And as you get more successful, more people want something from you, way more people, and there are way more opportunities than ever. So I said yes to a lot of these things, and I just had a hard time saying no. Pretty much had that forever, and that's kind of what led to me just slowly burning out more and more.
And like, what did it like feel like? Like, was it anxiety attacks?
Yeah, so
was
it started with just feeling kind of depressed and,
Yeah.
you know, not feeling right, just knowing something is off. Which, let's say you don't go to the gym for a while, you eat like shit, you don't
off,
feel right.
yeah.
But it felt like this while I was doing everything kind of perfect, and then way worse, you know? My thoughts just became negative, like all negative. While normally they are just positive.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm also always a positive guy.
Big friendly giant.
I know.
Big friendly Dutch
Yeah.
giant.
So I didn't feel like that anymore.
Merijn lights up a room
I know.
physically and emotionally whenever he walks into it.
Yeah, appreciate that. So basically that started happening, and I started like just feeling bad about myself and about things, and I still kept up kind of like the mask for the outside, which costs a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah.
If you make YouTube videos and you actually don't feel excited, but you're acting excited,
That's tough.
it's tough, and it's not sustainable, especially now with the type of videos that we make. If it's kind of like real life, I didn't really want to share it because I don't know. I had a formula
you
that
felt
worked.
fake.
I had a
Yeah.
formula that worked, so I kind of kept sticking to that. So yeah, I put on a little bit of a mask, which later I dropped when I hit that point of burnout. But before that, you know, so pretty much so many factors just stacked together.
Yeah.
And then, just combined with, you know, the low testosterone, not taking care of myself, and then just working so much. Then at some point, let's say I walked into this room, I would see lights like flickering.
I remember you said this.
Yeah, and this kind of got worse and worse over the days. And so I was like, I'm becoming blind, or like, well, what the fuck is happening? You know? So it was actually like insane. And this also happened when I was walking outside, and it kind of got worse and worse. You know, just I saw like the lights. Yeah, it's kind of like a hallucination.
Ryan was in Amsterdam taking shrooms.
I promise I wasn't doing shrooms. So yeah, with no drugs, like that was happening. It was insane. And then later I started, you know, getting really big anxiety, and then also like panic attacks, and just my heart like beating out of my chest.
Yeah.
Where I just felt like shit. Am I dying? Like, do I need to go to the doctor? Like, yeah, just crazy stuff. Without caffeine or without anything.
Oh, fuck.
out of nowhere, just like the heart racing.
And so,
And then at some point, I just like totally kind of collapsed, and I barely could like think properly anymore. Like, yeah,
bro,
it's crazy. So some people will say, you know, like Andrew.
all right now.
Yeah. I got over it.
Yeah.
So some people like you know, Andrew Tate will say burnout is not real.
Yeah.
If he explains it though, he would say like, you know, I don't want to think myself into a burnout. I can understand.
I understand some
that
of the
part.
stuff he just delivers something.
But the stuff is real though. Like it can actually happen where
Yeah.
you physically and mentally actually burn out.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
if you
I
were to
couldn't
put
even-
like a heart monitor on, you
Yeah.
could physically
Yeah,
rate
yeah.
it.
And I couldn't train. Like I would be weak as hell, you know. So it was definitely real. And after that, pretty much I knew what was happening, because I already obviously up until this was slowly building up, so I knew what was happening. And so I also went to the doctor, of course, and everything. They would put a label on it, which for me didn't really matter. Though.
Yeah, what did they
But,
say?
But
Usually
that
it's
is
like-
burnout. Like,
yeah.
yeah. But I already kind of knew what was happening, so I just knew like I need to take rest. So I pretty much texted everybody like, it's like hard to say, but like I can't work. Like this is happening.
Okay.
You're kind of like just sick, like you can't work. So I took. Luckily, the business was could go on by itself, which was
Mhm.
good. So I was lucky with that, which is something worked towards for many years. And then having the right partners, which was important at that time. Like Alpha Lead, I kind of like put a hold on it. I put a hold on my protein, because I've been working with them for a while. So
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. Like, can work for a while. I don't know when I'll be back, but you don't have to pay me.
Oh,
And so when I recovered, I just sent a message like, "Hey, I'm back."
oh no
Okay.
way.
And they start paying me again. So it's I think that's kind of the right way to do business. And
I'd be like, okay, I'm taking a month off. Keep
yeah,
paying.
I could say it, but I didn't know how
I'm
many,
like, come on, Christian.
I didn't know how many months it was going to be.
Yeah,
so I was
I
like,
know.
I read it, just be honest, because
Yeah, that's a better.
I've been working with these companies for so long.
Yeah.
So I read it, just be honest, and then whatever happens, I can go back to it. You know,
Okay.
which was a smart move. 'cause
Yeah,
I've
I'm
been with both
sure
of
they
them for a
probably
while.
respected that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
only
I
joking.
think those things are kind of smart for a reputation as well.
Yeah.
So basically, I took time off. First, it was just like recovering on the couch, pretty much, just feeling like total shit for a while. Went to like a yoga and a meditation retreat in Portugal.
Oh,
So I went there for like a week on my own, with like pretty much no phone, like nothing, and that really helped me
Wow.
get a lot of insights too. Yeah, and I got therapy at the same time, which like I pretty much went all in on like what can I do to get better,
wellness, yeah.
and yeah, like what can I do to get better? How do other people recover? And I recovered pretty fast, like within say 3 months or so.
3 months? I thought you were about to say like 3 weeks.
No. Well, 2 months when I already kind of started doing some stuff.
Yeah.
So I started, picking up the sponsorships, but doing like the minimal required amount of work.
Yeah.
And then I literally started. I had this burnout coach, so I did this whole build up of this week you're gonna work 2 hours a day, which was tough. You can't imagine, like, yeah, man, yeah, bro. Like, you build it up to like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, slowly build it up. So yeah.
So you essentially just took on too much. You got overwhelmed. So your advice, what's your advice for someone to avoid burnout?
Well, firstly, like, I did all these things at the same time, like way too much, like taking on way too many things. So if you're an entrepreneur, like it's always kind of smart if you want to build a business to focus on one thing, focus on one business, growing it instead of all these different businesses. Also think about, YouTube channel, podcast, Instagram, like all these different platforms, and doing so much by myself. So pretty much like delegating the right way, having the right people help you. Also just don't take on too much, but rather focus on quality and quantity. And then being able to say no to people, which I had to learn the hard way. Also, don't try to be friends with everybody, which I tried for a very long time. So even with this therapist, we wrote down like a circle of me and then my closest friends. You were there, and by the way,
thanks.
And then another circle of maybe some people you're cool with, but you don't want to hang out with them every week. And then maybe some people, and then also some people with like crosses, like they're gone.
Oh, fuck.
You know what I mean? It's kind of tough. But
that's
if you're trying to hang with so many people and try to make everybody happy and like please, like, and they cost more energy than they give. And you give all this energy, you don't get it back. At some point, you gotta, cut them out of your life. I think it's a reality, especially as you get older, you have less and less time.
Yeah, which
I really learned now in these last few years. You just have way less time, which will get even. You're getting a baby at some stage. Soon, hopefully, yeah. And so then the time will become even less.
Oh, yeah.
As you start building a family, and so. I think those are kind of like the key things. Then obviously take care of yourself physically. Sleep is one of the most underrated and one of the most kind of like easy things. Everybody talks about it, but no one wants to listen.
I know, because it's a boring talk.
It's a boring talk.
Like, no, it puts you to sleep. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But I've only actually started tracking my sleep like properly like 2-3 weeks ago. I've had this. I didn't realize I was getting like 6 hours sleep like most nights, and now I'm like, oh my God, it's just eye-opening how different you feel even with like an hour extra or a deeper quality sleep. And again, it's a boring thing to even tell people to do. Like I try and tell one of my clients who's like, he was like not training hard enough and not sticking to his diet, and he was having loads of cravings, and it was all to do with his sleep. He was like fucking working till 1 a.m. on his laptop and stressing himself out. And it was like, I was like, bro, this sounds hard for me to tell you because it sounds so simple. Go to bed earlier and your diet and your training will sort itself out. And it did. It did. He made more of an effort now with sleep. He stopped working late and just everything improves. It's crazy. I think that's the most important thing. I don't know if you've ever worn a Whoop.
No, I'm thinking of getting this Aura ring. I never liked to sleep with a. So I have this watch, but I don't like to sleep with it.
I got both. I got the an Ultra Human ring. And I got them at the same time to see which one, because I wanted to start tracking my sleep. Actually found, they're both really good. And basically my conclusion, I'm going to do a full video on it. Conclusion is wear whichever one you don't mind wearing. So with the ring, I couldn't lift weights. And it was kind of like, when I was on my laptop, it kept like, because it's quite a thick ring. It has like a machine in it. It's not like a conventional small ring. Yeah. So it was always hitting off my laptop. And then I found it got like really sweaty when I was sleeping. So this does still get a little bit annoying, but after the first week, you get used to it. And like I pop it off when I'm jumping in the shower for like a minute, even though you're technically meant to wear it 24/7. But just go whatever one you don't mind wearing. Yeah. So maybe some people it's a ring, some people don't mind rings. I found this better. But basically they both track sleep really well, because you can like wake up in the middle of the night and like go to the bathroom and not remember it. Like you literally won't remember it, especially if you're drinking or something. But this thing it'll detect movement, you walking up. So it's crazy, and you see it all in the morning. Like it's nuts. I think that's the biggest factor. So get your sleep in, people. And so how you pulled yourself out of this burnout from just basically focusing on your health and wellness. So the Portugal meditation retreat.
Yeah, that's how we can say it.
Yeah. Were you with Lenny at the time?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay. And
That helped a lot, of course.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of times when, like, believe it or not, I do get really stressed and I get anxious as well, you know, like super anxious and overwhelmed. Like when I have like a lot of stuff to do and I'm just like not doing it, that's anxiety. I think anxiety can be a good thing in a way because it makes it. It's a real human response. Like, you know, it exists for a reason. But the way I do it is I tackle my to-do list head on. And then as long as I'm productive and doing all that, it goes away. But Linda as well, she is like the most chilled, relaxed person ever. I think Lenny's kind of the same. They're very like feminine, nurturing partners.
It's what we need.
It's what we need. It's why we are with who we are. But yeah, I think that's super helpful as well. Yeah. And so when you started feeling back to normal, like you felt good, and then you kind of got back into lifting and everything, and then you went on some TRT journey.
No, see, this actually happened before.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so I didn't.
So
I didn't
it was
take
kind of could have been part of the reason.
I don't think it was part of the reason. I think it delayed it actually.
Okay.
So months before this, I already started.
Yeah.
As I said, feeling depressed, feeling bad, having low testosterone.
Yeah.
So I started checking my levels at the doctor. Did 3 different tests on different time spans, and my testosterone levels were low as a 60-year-old guy, 70-year-old guy. And before this, I did, the men's health shoot.
Yeah.
But 6 weeks before that, I did a men's physique show. And I gained 20 pounds after the men's physique show. I had to lose it all before the men's health shoot again.
Oh, no way.
So I was just going into this yo-yo effect. And, before this, I was getting shredded, five times a year the years before. My levels just didn't seem to get up. But I also didn't, as I said, take care of myself, take care of that sleep, work less. I didn't focus on those things because I felt like I have to keep this up for the lifestyle I'm living, to do well on YouTube, to keep making money. I have all these business partners I'm working with. So, I got to be on top of my game. And so basically that's when TRT came into play, which is testosterone replacement therapy, where this is something that usually older men take if testosterone goes down. To raise it again to natural levels. But there's a lot of obviously, bad things that come with it or like risks, let's say risks or side effects, which don't happen for everyone, but can happen. And that's why I was actually way too young to be doing it.
Yeah.
But I saw it kind of as my only option. And I heard stories from other entrepreneurs, but also athletes, all these kind of, highly successful people that they were also on TRT. Even guys that weren't even training that much for like the mental benefits. And I felt like, well, this is, at the same time, I was really not enjoying training because I did the men's health cover, which was my biggest goal.
Yeah.
After 10 years of lifting.
Yeah,
I accomplished it.
That's the pinnacle.
Yeah, and before that, I did the men's physique show after 10 years of natural lifting. And so I kind of hit the goals that I wanted to hit physique-wise.
Yeah.
And I fell into this really dark hole. This all came at the same time with the burnout. And so what I think happened is that, after I took the testosterone, I was like, this works. I'm like superhuman. I can sleep 5 hours a night, feel fine. I can work even harder now. I can grind even more. So I started working even harder and started like maintaining this shredded physique. Training was fun again. So that was in a way kind of good, I guess. But after some months, the negative effects started hitting in.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the burnout just kind of like, it was a Band-Aid, the TRT for the burnout.
Yes.
It probably
That's
would have
a good way to describe it.
Yeah, so it probably would have happened sooner, but now I kind of delayed this process. But the body keeps the score, so it happened eventually anyways.
Yeah, and they say like when you take testosterone or any steroids, all your feelings are like multiplied, So like if you're aggressive, you'll get more aggressive. Or if you're sad, you'll get even more sad. So that could have been a reason for that. And then so you came off everything cold turkey or?
Nah, so I didn't quit after this burnout right away because I was like, that's probably not a smart thing to do. I feel like shit. I'm totally down. So it's better to like at least keep those testosterone levels normal. So after I recovered from that burnout after like 8 weeks or so, or maybe after 12 weeks, I came off. So I took like a PCT, which was, I wouldn't know. I even shot, I think Greg Doucette.
Yeah.
I think I shot him a message like which one.
He did like a video on it and stuff. Yeah.
So I did that. I think it was, I'm not sure, but it was, I don't know the names anymore. I took 2 different things. Anyways.
Well, would it be like Clomid or enclomiphene or HCG?
I think Clomid together with something else.
Yeah, usually it's Clomid. Nolvadex. I don't know. I really know the PCTs. But you did a proper
not,
one,
yeah.
not like an over the counter supplement.
No, a
one.
proper
You
one,
did a
yeah,
proper
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how long until you like kind of felt normal again?
About 12 weeks later, 16 weeks later. Well, earlier I felt normal, maybe after 2 months.
Yeah.
The first month was so difficult, or first 6 weeks. I
Like-
started kind of declining. I went to the gym. Like, I was lifting less heavy. I started looking a bit more puffy.
Gaunt.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not that pumped anymore.
Yeah.
And I just really felt like shit again, pretty much. But I already kind of felt like shit. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like, this is maybe kind of like a good time to do it, because I'm
Yeah.
kind of like on the down anyways. I don't have to post for the sponsors. I don't have to
Oh,
make
shit,
videos. I'm out of the running anyway. So it's probably best to like quit it now and then hopefully come back stronger afterwards.
Yeah.
Which I did. So I recovered after, I would say, 8 weeks or so, where I kind of started feeling normal. And then after 16 weeks, my levels were higher than they were before.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's very
I
impressive.
was sleeping a lot. I was eating properly. I was not I was building up the work from 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it was all slow lifestyle. And then you realize what sleep and proper, taking care of yourself actually can do.
Fuck. Okay, wait. Give me your like tips for sleeping. Like your kind of like evening routine.
Yeah, so
that'll
firstly,
help a lot of people.
What's important is that you wake up the same time every day, which
Yes.
very often I wouldn't do, or I would work until really late. And so you want to have that rhythm, your circadian rhythm gets used to it. And then it also knows when it's going to, give you the what do you call it? The hormone before you sleep. Melatonin. So that kind of starts at the right time. And it also gets suppressed if you, start working really late and doing all these things different. So my rule was kind of like 2 hours before I go to sleep, I close my laptop. I don't have, the screen. And 1 hour before, because you got to keep it realistic too.
Yeah, yeah.
1 hour before, no phone, which, I tried 2 hours. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah.
Definitely no like scrolling before. I got like angry at my girlfriend. She started scrolling before sleep.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I know. It even
Yeah.
looks so bad when you see
even looks
someone
bad,
doing
yeah.
it. You're like, I don't want it to be
I
doing
know, I
that.
know.
Like doom scrolling is what it's called. Doom scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it
It's
is.
like so pointless.
Yeah, and then just having a proper routine, and then kind of like doing the same thing before you go to bed. But I think those are for me the most important things. No screen time before
Yeah.
that, and then I would maybe read something before sleeping. For a while, I did that. That helped me really sleep. Don't read like a nonfiction nonfiction book,
Yeah.
about like motivation or
Yeah.
because those books kind of make you think.
Yeah.
So read something like a fiction book, which in the beginning is kind of maybe tough or not fun. You know what I mean? I always read like these nonfiction things about business and stuff.
Merijn tucked up reading Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's fine. Like, you just gotta kind of see it as a way to like fall asleep.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's maybe a bit of a tough thing to do if you don't like it, but it really does work.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's boring.
Yeah, it
You
puts
just
you
like literally fall asleep.
Oh man.
So with this e-reader, that works great. And then some, you want to have the good temperature in your room.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
just really important. You want to have a dark room, which is really important. So make sure you have proper curtains and stuff. It's kind of the basic thing, but they are so important.
Yeah.
And if I travel, I make sure I have this sleep mask, even the things for your ears if there's a lot of noise. And those are some of the things. Lately, I've been actually experimenting with these nose strips.
I have them, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw, obviously we see Hormozy, on
Yeah,
Instagram.
we're like, so
And,
maybe they'll make me better at business.
I didn't really believe in it, but then I just kind of bought them for fun. And we tried them like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it works so good.
Oh yeah, no,
and
look, works
they're just like cheap. You put them on, but like it just really opens it
yeah,
up.
you get
It's,
like
it's
you,
fun. Like
you got that, and it like
works
hits
so
your
well.
brain.
I know.
Like, goes into your brain.
I know.
Like,
And while you're
it's
sleeping,
so
you don't
good.
want to breathe through your mouth. So it
Yeah.
works so well.
It makes you focus on your
So-
nose breathing as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if someone has a problem with sleeping, those things work.
Yeah, my biggest one was all them as well. We got like really good like aircon to make us so cold, like especially in the summer in Spain when it's like 35 degrees.
Yeah.
So essential, like superpower. The blackout blinds, clean sheets. Like we wash especially your pillows. Wash your pillows. Like you think of all the shit going on them. Like when your head hits like a clean pillow, you're like, oh, that. And I don't have an alarm for the morning. I have an alarm for the evening, being like, go to bed. So at 9 p.m., it's like, I think iPhones have like, it's like sleep mode.
Yeah.
You put it in, no notifications come through after like 7 p.m. So if you're hitting me up in the evening, I ain't get back to you. Yeah, that's how I run my business. That and alarm saying go to bed. And so one thing that I found out, like just with, the Whoop thing and just like from watching some sleep podcasts and all. It's actually this, even if you're not sleeping, the sooner you go into bed, the sooner you will sleep. Like
Sure,
you don't have to, you don't have to be like, like this. If you're just in bed, it's like me and Linda will just like, chill at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, like instead of watching a movie, we were like, oh, let's just go up to bed. You know,
that might feel difficult to do because you're like, everybody's used to like having, these dopamine hits all day with the phones. So it's kind of a tough thing to do, but it's actually so simple.
Yeah.
But you just have to it also helps with like meditation. Helped me sleep actually, by the way, as well.
Yeah. And also
But
eating a massive meal before bed. That like, it's nothing to do with fat loss. Like if your calories are the same, you can eat them all before you go to bed. But like, you'll just feel like bloated lying in bed. So that's one thing. I have my last meal now at about like 7 or something. Like, whereas in the past when I was quite younger, I'd probably have it at 9 because I'm like, I want to stay anabolic straight tonight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, that's my main things. And now, talk to me about your shift in training. Because you just recently ran the Marbella half marathon.
Yeah.
Correct?
2 days ago.
Sorry I didn't show up.
No worries.
Maybe next year.
Yeah. And
so tell me, how did you, like that? You did a really good time as well.
Pretty good, yeah. I almost hit under 2 hours. So it was,
That's wild.
Yeah.
And so how did you like get into that? And how did you build up your time from a lifter to someone actually getting like impressive running times?
I don't know if it's that impressive. Maybe for a lifter. Okay, I appreciate it. Maybe for a lifter, anyways.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of injuries on the way. So I started running when after this TRT thing, and when I came off, I had the same problem again. I'm not making gains with lifting anymore, especially now afterwards. You lose the gains again. I was massive, like the shoulders and stuff. So I'm like, I cannot really lift for my aesthetics only because that won't really be fun, compared to what I had.
Yeah,
and then I will constantly feel like
old pictures.
I constantly feel like I lost it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the problem with a lot of people that take roids. If you do one cycle, for example,
they'll always
that's obviously
compare
different
themselves.
than doing CRT. But if you do one cycle, I'm sure you're gonna keep doing it because you lose all those gains, way more than I did even.
Yeah.
This is very low dose, etc. And then you start feeling bad and do it again. I think that's a repetitive cycle. So I decided like I'm gonna do more like performance training. So I started doing handstands. It was kind of the first thing. Calisthenics. So I can almost do the handstand push-ups now, which is pretty awesome. And then like muscle ups and all that stuff. And then I started running as well. And running, it just gave me the newbie gains again. Because you literally start with like running 1 minute, walking 1 minute.
Yeah.
And now I can run 2 hours straight, which is crazy compared to where I started. So it's so much fun, like just building that up and making that progress. And then also having a running coach, looking at the technique, learning.
Do you have a running coach?
Yeah, I have a running coach.
Awesome.
And officially, I'm a running coach myself now. I got my certificate.
No way.
Yeah. So I just wanted to learn everything about it because it was so fun. And we work together with those coaches too. But I kind of want to know my stuff. So that's because I'm still an online coach. So I still want to know also what the other coaches are putting on my app, so that I also understand it myself. So learn a lot from that, learn a lot from the coach. And it just makes it fun again. Like you just start lifting, the progress. And I did get a lot of injuries. So I twisted my ankle twice where I just completely like went like that, Took many months to recover. Shin splints, I get these all the time. So I have to be careful with the volume buildup. Easy rule there is just no more than like 10% volume increase per week.
Yeah.
And just basically just how I started and then following the proper programs to build it up.
I remember. So I know what you mean by like the quick gains. I started running probably within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And it just feels way better. Also does. I still care about fat loss from running and everything.
I do too. I'm not gonna lie.
It does. It allows you to eat more, which is great. One thing people are always like, oh, don't do cardio for fat loss. It doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, I know it's majority of the fat loss is going to come from diet, but fucking adds up. Like it does help, So I've never really seen when people it's just comparing two completely different things.
Yeah, I think very often people look at also just professional bodybuilders and they start comparing them to me, and it's like, well, I want to be athletic as well. Yeah. Bodybuilders don't give a fuck about being athletic.
No.
They don't care about their cardiovascular system, their health, their heart, which is a muscle. Which can all, running actually helps with that.
Yeah.
And so.
But yeah, my 5K, it started off, I did like 5K in 30 minutes. And now it's down to like my PR is 22.
That's crazy.
Yeah. On a treadmill though. Outside, outside is not too different if it's on a flat.
Outside is way nicer.
Yeah, it's nice as well. You do it, especially in Marbella, like you do it beside the coast. It's like the Golden Mile is like made for it. Like,
I know.
It's a perfect for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good feeling, like seeing it come down, and you feel so good after a run as well.
Even during a run. So this took a while for me to like appreciate the running, because in the beginning, when you run for 1 minute, walk 1 minute, you don't really get the runner's high because it's not long enough. But once you start going past a 20-30 minute mark, that's when the running high actually comes.
Okay.
And so now when I'm doing these longer runs, you can honestly feel at some stage like, wow, now I'm in it.
Oh shit, I don't think I've gotten there yet. I usually keep them like
you do
30
22 minutes.
Yeah.
I think if you go longer, that's when you really start. And that's when you really start feeling like even more badass, like pumped, like, it feels so good. And I think running, other than lifting, helps me with being disciplined again.
Yeah.
Because lifting is just a routine. I'll do it anyways. I love lifting. I've been doing it for 13 years now. I've never skipped weeks, only take a necessary deload. It's like I'll always lift. If I'm on vacation, I'll find gyms. So I just love the gym, but it's kind of a routine. It's easy for me to go. The diet is maybe a little bit harder, but the gym itself is just kind of like easy to go there.
Yeah.
But putting on those running shoes when it's raining outside, that's not easy, man.
That's well, it's pretty easy in Marbella.
Well, it's not raining here. Yeah. It's not raining here, but just or in the evenings, like sometimes I'll say like I'm not going to train in the morning, and then in the evenings I'm like, shit, I still got to go.
Yeah.
And even now, I train for a half marathon. You have to go because if I don't go, then I'm not building up this volume, and so you have to go in the evenings. And it just sucks in the beginning, like just starting. But then once you're in that runner's high, man, you feel great.
Man,
and
you made me want to
go
for
a different feel. Yeah,
made me want to go for a run now.
Oh yeah.
And also what helped me the most, Louis Armstrong actually told me this. Like when I first started running, I would just sprint. I would just pretty much sprint, and I'd be absolutely wrecked after a few minutes, and I wouldn't be able to go anymore. The slower, and I imagine this is the case with 40-minute runs, the slower you go. Like, and you think you're not moving. Like, you're like,
it feels like speed walking.
It feels like speed walking, but you actually are. And so once I got past that mental block, then that helped me enjoy it a lot more as well.
Yeah, so I think now if you want to build up to like bigger volume, if you want to do it, you should go to 10K now.
Yeah,
which is a lot of fun. It feels way different than a 5K.
Yeah,
the time is great though. I probably wouldn't run a 5K that fast. I can run longer.
I'm like a sprinter.
But it's more like sprinting. Which is nice. But it's a different feel. And running slowly is tough to accept because also people will come past you. It just feels kind of like I want to be faster than him.
Trip them up.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But it works. And you got to do about 80% of those slow runs, and then 20% you do more like speed work, interval training, threshold runs, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So what is next for you in terms of you got a really solid relationship? You thinking about making some baby aesthetics?
Not yet. So that's going to take a while. But first, we're moving somewhere.
Hey,
you know where.
I know where. Are we leaking it on this podcast?
Yeah, we're leaking it.
Okay. So you've confirmed it, yeah?
We'll be neighbors.
No way.
Yeah, moving to Marbella, yeah.
And when do you make the move?
So literally yesterday night, we, how do you say it? We sent the email to the apartment.
Okay.
Like next month. We want to, go out of it. So 1 November.
Okay. Oh my God.
So that's in a month, yeah.
Bro, you're going to love it. Like, so I was just like, when you were talking about the running and everything, I'm like, I just want Merijn to be here going on his runs. I want you to be happy.
I am happy here, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, man. I can't believe that. It's going to be so exciting. But here, look, you absolutely smashed it today. People, you know where to find Merijn.
Yeah, so YouTube is the place to find me because the other platforms are doing Dutch now. So YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
And I will upload more since we live here, It's gonna
there
be
you
fun,
go. Unreal here. But bro, so good to I know we went for dinner, we had the wedding as well, but it was lovely to just sit down and have a good chat with you, bro. Right. Boom. Love you. Peace.
See you, bro.
Smashed it.
This one.
Out.
Out.